Welcome to Toss the Titles Down Under Dynasty with your host, Ben Duvin at Live from the Ben, and with me, as usual, my co-host at FF Doormat, Matt Hatton. How are you today, Matt?
Mate, I'm doing wonderfully well tonight. It's tonight already. Down under, going well. Long weekend, Queen's birthday. Queen's birthday, long weekend, right? It's not actually her birthday, but that's the long weekend that we get to celebrate. So
are you celebrating the Queen on this Monday?
Definitely not. But just celebrating the fact that we've got a public holiday. I know there's a lot of people trying to get us out of the Queen being the head of the country, but as long as they replace the public holiday, that's all I really care about, right? I want that.
I'd like them to replace the public holiday with Matt Hatton Day.
I'll vote for that. Let's do that.
All right, but instead of a day, it's a week.
I'll vote for that too. Let's do that.
The week of Hatton, and we just get the week off.
Why not? Put the feet up, just fan a bit, relax. How are you, mate?
I'm fantastic, brother. I'm it's been a week. Work's been super busy, and really need this long weekend. I'm quite excited for it.
I hear you.
Bro, we always bro down, John. We're just broing down. Coach, how are you? So, yeah, it's just crazy at the moment.
Sure
Matt
knows.
Hatton Day is episode 50. Again, Matt Hatton Week.
The festival of Matt Hatton. Let's do that.
The Festivus for the rest of us.
That's it.
It's night, Joe. It's night. Whiskey night. So what's was it today? We're going to talk about the Dart consensus top 12 dynasty quarterback rankings. We've given you the running backs. We're back to give you the quarterbacks. But before we do that, is there any news you want to touch on? Anything that's happened that you've been paying close attention to?
Yeah, nice choice of words there when you said any news you want to touch on. But I guess the news going around is just is Deshaun Watson. That's just it's obviously that's a major issue for everyone involved, and I think that's there's just been that news again. With the New York Times article that now there's up to 66 women that he had massages with. I don't think they're all accused him of anything, but there's just more and more accusers. And I think the piece said that the Browns might not have known about the amount of people involved. So that's something that in fantasy land is created a little bit of trepidation, maybe, or nervousness in owners. Maybe some people that made trades are feeling a little bit uneasier, or maybe owners are trying to move. I think one of our leagues we're both in, he was moved today. I think it was Mahomes and a second for Watson, Pittman, Kittle, a first and a third, something like that. So, definitely, I think people are sort of looking over their shoulder a little bit more now, and just, there's a bit of that nervousness. So I think everyone sort of thought he might get 6 games or 12 games, but now it's looking like could be anything, right?
Could be a year, could be 2 years. Look, I've acquired him in leagues. I acquired him last season. I acquired him the other week in a trade a couple of weeks ago in a trade I was quite happy with at the time. Even if he gets suspended for the full year, I'll still be happy with that trade because I'm rebuilding in that league, and I don't want those potential points. So that's all right. But look, I can't see him getting more than a season. It's just, is it going to be this season or is it going to be next season? Will they suspend him with all this still going on, or will they wait for it to be resolved?
I guess that's. You sort of wish they could just wait for it to be resolved. Let the courts play it out, and maybe put him on. I could see them
trying to force his hand and try to put him on the commission's exempt list, right? To kind of say, dude, settle.
Yep. Well, that's the thing, right? If there's no criminal charges, and if all the cases are settled, obviously not saying that nothing happened, but if he does settle, that it would be hard for him, I think, to get more than a year. I'm not saying it's right or anything, but
just
if that happens, it'd you couldn't see him getting 2 years if that was the case. But who knows? Who knows? I guess we'll just watch his space. But yeah, the point was it's just created that little bit of a spike in either the fluctuation. Is what I'm trying to say. That value fluctuations got people a bit jittery.
Coach just found your new Twitter handle. The
Mad Hatton.
I like that one. And Joe, it warms my heart to know that you're watching Stranger Things.
The upside down.
I have watched. I'm up to date on Stranger Things, episode 7. Waiting for those last 2 episodes to drop on the 1st of July. Very excited. So I've enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah, back to football. Yeah. Look, at this point, I don't know what's going to happen. Deshaun Watson's obviously a piece of shit. I don't really know what else to say. Like, it's weird.
Just exempt list him. Just put him on the exempt list, and it should be done.
I don't want him on
right?
the exempt list because after the exempt list, the suspension's still coming.
Yeah.
So I just want the suspension and just for this to be over, and like, yeah, just for it to be over. I don't think Deshaun Watson's a good person. I think this whole I did nothing act is just, it doesn't make sense to me. I find it weird as hell that he would go and see so many masseuses. I mean, he's a professional athlete. You're just going to let anybody massage your body? That's odd as anything, right?
Yeah, I think Shannon Sharp was saying he's had that one, massage therapist. He's pretty much his whole career, and he flies them now. He still flies the massage therapist around to give him massage. He's not even competing, right? He's still trained. You can see he's still like 6% body fat. But
this guy's reaching out to random women on Instagram to give him massages. I don't know, man. It's just weird.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. I did see one other. Sorry.
I mean, at a minimum, the guy's got a strange fetish. I mean, like, I kind of think like, and I'm not saying like he's obviously disturbed, but I think in his mind, he just thinks that if he lets these women know that he wants to do whatever with them, he's Deshaun Watson, so they want to. Like,
yeah, it's just weird. It's something.
It's just really odd.
Joe knows the mad massager, as Joe said. Joe knows. Yeah,
well, it's Hatton's really... not a massager. No offense, Hatton. I'm not going to let him massage me.
I wasn't offering, Benny, but that's all right.
Yeah, look,
yeah, I think we covered it. But one other thing I did see in the news too, just for our mate of the show, Mike, the Broncos sold right for $4.5 billion, which is pretty astounding. But there was a little tidbit from Lombardi, Mike Lombardi podcast, was saying that at one stage, the coach of the Broncos, quarterback, one of the best ever, Elway, the team was trying to get around the cap and give him 20% of the ownership in the league, but he didn't take it. He took the money, and he was saying that he could have turned that $20 million into $900 million with that 20% sale of the Broncos. Yeah. So I think he's still fine. He's still loaded, right? Like what's $900 million when you got $100 million or $200 million, whatever it's worth. But
it's probably a lot. It's a lot of equity. It allows you to do a lot of things. It allows you to build wealth. Begates wealth, my friend. And the more wealthy you are, the more wealth you can build. But
you buy a house in Sydney.
Yeah, I mean, 900 million might get you something decent, maybe.
Might do, yeah. Might do.
But I don't think they ever would have got around that, though, to be able to give him a percentage of the franchise.
Yeah, I think Al Davis came out and Lombardi it was on the Lombardi podcast, good podcast, that one. I think is a GM Shuffle it's called, where he talks about GM perspective. Yeah, he was talking. Al Davis was complaining about it, and I think he tried to put the kibosh on it. But yeah, just one of those things. Could have had $900 million, but hey, you can't be unhappy with $20 million, right? To throw the ball around. That's
no, not at all. But I But nowadays, the owning the percentage of a franchise thing would never get through. I can't speak for them for back in the day, but not now.
Yeah,
Maybe you have maybe you have a handshake kind of agreement for afterwards or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, look, outside of the show, what's some news? Just been doing rookie drafts, right? Loving drafting, Sackmania, Street Fighter. Just these are the kind of leagues we're in. We're theme leagues kind of guys. We like our leagues to have cool graphics and be on MFL, the place to have your fantasy football league. All right. Especially if you're in like 15 dynasty leagues like me and you want to be able to set your lineups and navigate between your leagues really quickly.
The best thing we did, I think 2 years ago, my last sleeper league folded. Nothing against sleeper. I prefer MFL, but just like you say, when you're trying to juggle between leagues, I think we've got a couple on Flea Flicker, which is okay. But it's when it's 2:50 in the morning and you're trying to set your lineups and you sit starts and whatnot. It's a bit much. So I think MFL's good.
I got 2 Flea Flicker leagues, and I've been turning down sleeper leagues just because I've got nothing on there at the moment, and I don't want to join. Like to start a league on a new platform, it'd have to be pretty enticing.
We need just one chat too. I think that's another thing too, right? It's hard to keep up. You got GroupMe, you got Twitter chats, Facebook, Discord. It's like
Twitter would
just build a better where you can just reply to people in the actual Twitter. Just make it like Discord or something, so you can just have one. So because it's I think we had a couple of timeouts or close to timeouts in those leagues, right? In Street Fighter and Sackmania, because it's just so much going on, you gotta miss it. So
too much. And I think now we should go on to our top 12 consensus quarterback dynasty rankings. But before we do, just want to let people know that you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, and the Toss of Titles trading card fantasy sports memorable page, and of course Spotify. Right, man, Spotify, like nobody knows what I want to listen to and what I like better than Spotify. Sure, they put the same songs in different playlists, but still, they're doing a good job. So thank you, Spotify. Now, are we going to agree on a quarterback one, Hatton?
Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be Mac Jones. Surely it's got to be Mac Jones, right? Like, come on.
Mac Jones, look, he's good, but he's not that good. I mean, look, to me, there's only 2 guys in contention here, Allen and Mahomes. And I think that the 2 seasons Allen has put together now, I think he belongs at the top.
Yeah, no, I think we quickly chatted off there. I had the same thing too. I think Josh Allen has ascended to a tier of his own. I think last year it was a tier 2, but I think he's in his own tier. He should be 1. I know big drum if you're on the clock and you go Mahomes 101, but for me, I think Allen just on the park he looked better. I think his legs, he's still going to run a lot. And Mahomes didn't last year. I think he still looked okay for fantasy, but he just came down a little bit. Still, phenomenal generational talent. But yeah, he took a step back last year, and Josh Allen didn't. So I think you just lock in Josh Allen as the consensus dud number 1, Josh Allen. You're on mute, Benny. Talking about duds.
Calm down before I calm you down. So, is Pat Mahomes the smash number 2? Is there any conversation for another player at number 2?
He's not a smash. I think we've probably both seen the leagues where he hasn't gone 102. Superflex leagues, even like 14-team Superflex leagues. I think Herbert is in the conversation, right? Young, ascending talent, looked good on the field again. He took another step, I think. So I've seen that happen. I still probably got Mahomes just ahead of him, but it's it's close enough. It's the same tier for me.
Yeah. To me, Mahomes is like you said. Allen's in a tier of his own. I have Mahomes and Allen in a tier of their own together. I still have
same for you.
Yeah, to me, Mahomes is too like you, but I have Herbert below Mahomes. Just because is he going to put up those same kind of numbers when the Chargers are winning and not behind, etc. And Mahomes just gives me a level of comfort that Herbert doesn't. And I think we want to point out here that both these quarterbacks would not have been early startup picks when they came out and weren't even, top half of the first round rookie dynasty picks.
Yeah, and not even, before that, right? We're talking about even Devy leagues that you play in. I think weren't even massive on the Devy front, right? I think I picked up Justin Herbert in one league, and literally people laughed at me, like, you got Roethlisberger and Herbert at quarterbacks, and I think I lost someone else for the season on injury, and it was a bit of a laugh, but yeah, he's come a long way to be in that conversation for the
They both have
overall.
yeah. A lot of people who were taking Josh Allen in rookie drafts hated taking Josh Allen in rookie drafts.
He did for the first couple of years, right? He just they didn't throw the ball much. He was pretty terrible on the field, and
they
wouldn't. And then they got better, got him Diggs, and it's just a perfect storm, wasn't it? And then they just started throwing the ball more as well, instead of throwing it almost
credit to himself. He got a lot better, but even Mahomes after that first off season, even when he got the starter job, he wasn't going super high after his rookie year.
I think there's a few people that were like in on him, but he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
And in his rookie year, he was going in the double-digit rounds.
Yeah,
So that's why you take shots on quarterback, right? Because 100%. You just don't know.
The value just don't know. When you do hit on these young guys,
when you hit, it's so sexy.
It's Joe Burrow. It's just It is.
All right. So we talked about Justin Herbert. Now I don't even have Herbert as my 3. I actually have.
You got the midget.
You know me too well.
I love Kyler.
I love Kyler Murray. He's my 3.
He's your 3.
Just the ups. Look, Lamar's a great runner, the best runner probably at quarterback we've ever seen. But if anyone's going to throw for 4,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards, I think it's Kyler Murray. He's just got that kind of upside. And I know he's tailed off at the end of the year both times. But, I don't think it was due to getting beat up or anything like that. I just think it was, he just got hurt. And it is what it is. But
you don't think teams worked him out? There's an article going around in ESPN, was it last year, or Sports Illustrated, that all the teams that they thought had worked him out. That's why he sort of came back to the field. But I think I'm the same with you. I think we discussed it before, not today, but a couple of months ago, that I think he just got injured, right? I guess he's got better receiving corps this year once Hopkins comes back. But I've still got Herbert in front of him. I just think Herbert is ascending where Murray's. I'm not sure he's still ascending.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, I can buy that argument.
You can buy it.
I can buy it. And look, I can understand that, Herbert at this point definitely feels safer with almost as much upside.
I think that's it too, right? Like there's that talk. I think it's just talk. He removed his social media stuff and Yeah, just a lot of chit chatter and stupid things. Is he going to go back to baseball? That sort of garbage, which is just nonsense. But it's just chatter, right? It's just distraction. Where you don't have that with Herbert.
Yeah. So, am I going to get my boy at quarterback 4? Can we agree there?
He's not my quarterback 4, but if you give me Herbert, I'll give you.
Well, where do you have him? Would he be your 5? Would he be your 6? Would you have Burrow over him? Would you have Lamar? I mean, obviously one of Lamar or Burrow are over him. Would you take them both over him?
It's the same tier for me. I think I'd take Burrow over him.
I see. I can't get on board with Burrow because he doesn't do anything with his legs. All these guys, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Lamar, like obviously Lamar, and obviously they all do more with their legs than Burrow. Like he's dead last when it comes to that. And so for me, he's like firmly 6 in that quarter. Like he would be in a different tier for me. Like I would have Patrick. I'd have Mahomes and Allen in one tier, and then Murray, Herbert, and Lamar in another tier, and then Burrow in his own tier.
Well, I'll give you Murray. That's fine, but yeah, I still think Burrow just because, again, ascending, with that receiving core and the season he had, right? There's just no questions. He's going to be there for long term, right?
But
all those things you say is the same as Hurts has got it, and
yeah, but to get the kind of points per game that Murray got last season, he's got to. Burrow's got to throw for 40 touchdowns and 4,500 yards every year. I mean, Murray finished above Burrow in points per game by a couple of points per game.
Yeah, but how do you feel about his situation going in and you just don't have that. Like we talked about that,
Yeah, look, I'm not worried about his situation at all.
I think Burrow's in a better situation, just better long-term outlook.
Well, it doesn't matter because we said Murray's our quarterback 4.
Burrow,
Murray's quarterback 4. You've already given me Kyler Murray's quarterback 4. Consensus start quarterback 4. But you would take Burrow above Lamar.
I think so, yeah. I think I would, yep.
I can't.
I just think,
really?
Losing Hollywood, I think people are just locking in that Rashad Bateman's just going to slot in and replace him. Just don't know that, right?
I think Bateman's going to have a huge year.
Yeah, I hope so too, but we just don't know yet, right? He didn't have a massive year last year. He was good, but it was a massive, and you can't just slot it in there. Whereas Burrow, he doesn't have that question, right? He's got.
What about Burrow, Joseph Clark? What about Burrow? Murray's ahead of Burrow, right? Just indulge me. He's not saying
Joe
that.
knows.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like Burrow is. It's going to be a hard one for me to give you, man.
Well, I know he doesn't do much with legs, right? But that's not what it's all about. It's just that situation. Whereas Lamar is, there's questions. There's literally questions about how good of a passer he still is, right? Like that's still a thing.
I don't think that's. I think those questions are bullshit.
You think he's a great? Like he's good. He's a good quarterback, but he's not the same as Burrow. I think there's just no questions about Burrow. You've got that,
and
you've got that stability there. You got those 2 generational wide receivers. Great organization.
Generational.
And Higgins
is generational.
Chase, generational.
You know what? I'm going to give you Burrow number 5 just because of our boy Nano here. All right, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you Joe Burrow.
Nice. I like it.
I mean, even though Nano's not a dud, I'm going to let him tip the scales here.
That's it. 100%.
Yeah.
Man, I hope for that franchise that they need some good news. So look, hopefully they can get over the hump next couple of years. But it was nice to see. But look, in all reality, we're ranking these guys, but it's the same tier, really. It's Lamar, Burrow, Murray. There's not really anything between
Right.
there, right? It's just same.
I mean, so there's nothing to converse on at number 6. It's Lamar.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Could
Right.
you see anyone jumping into that? So I think it's a bit of a tear break, right? After that one, I think that's after
Oh,
Lamar.
I think I think it's a pretty big tear break.
You're talking about some older guys with some injuries or question marks. So I think that's. I don't think anyone really maybe. It's a big maybe. Maybe Trey Lance, if he has a phenomenal season, could be there next year. But now you couldn't put him there now, of course. So I
So
think
who
is
no one's at the moment. Who's quarterback 7 for you?
So 7 for me. I think it's a bunch of you got Prescott, Watson, Hurts, some of the young guys, Trey Lance, Lawrence. So yeah, I want to say Hurts. I want to say Hurts is 7.
You want to say Hurts?
I want to say Hurts with AJ Brown building around him. He takes a step. He's going to kill it with his legs. And I just think that it just might work out for him.
You want Jalen Hurts right now? I'll trade you a share in Satmania for Trey Lance straight up. Come on.
Straight up. Yeah.
Hey, you're going for it this year. After tanking all the last year, you're going for it.
Tanking,
I can't.
That's terrible. Who would do such a thing?
Yeah, you would. Anyway, I'm not going to give you Jalen Hurts at 7.
No. Who's your 7?
Who's my 7? Look, I'm going to say I have to put Deshaun Watson at 7 because of the NFL's track record of
that's really fair enough.
Punish like this is Dynasty, and for quarterbacks especially, obviously you want them to play, but the NFL's track record of severe punishment when it comes to instances like this is not really that high, and because of that,
beat him with a feather.
Yeah, and I mean, if it was announced that he was playing tomorrow, he'd firmly be in that 6 tier, wouldn't he? He'd be in that top 6. He'd be in that tier as well.
You push him in the top. You push him in the top 3, really, couldn't you? Really, you push him as high as you want.
So, to me, he's got to be 7, even with all this stuff going on at the moment.
I mean, I'll give you that. That's pretty stands out like proverbials now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I understand there's a lot of ambiguity around his situation, but that's why he's at 7. If there wasn't this ambiguity, he'd be like, you know, 3 or 4.
Yep, easily. Yeah, I think that's a good get. Probably a miss there for me. So yeah, I think Deshaun definitely is the number 7.
Yep, and we don't like it. We feel a little bit disgusting, but it is what it is.
We're just talking about value, not about anything else. So
yeah,
dynasty value, not personal value. So yeah, lock him in at 7. Who you got at 8, Benny?
Oh, me. I've got Trey Lance at 8. Like, and I flip flop daily between Trey Lance and Deshaun Watson. I mean, sorry, Trey Lance and Trey Lance and Trevor Lawrence. Like Hurts isn't in that. Like I would, I would smash a trade for if I got offered Lance or Lawrence for Hurts. I would smash on that trade in Dynasty, not in redraft. In Dynasty.
Yeah, I think there's no way that they can outscore Hurts this year. Points per game, but maybe total, because maybe Hurts is not the starter after 8 games, 10 games, right? Get Ben off the show. Drunk Ben's the best Ben. Drunk Ben's the best Ben.
Yeah, this is a Dynasty show, Joe. And Rodgers is just too old. He's not going to be in this top 12. I don't think so. Is he in your top 12, Matt?
He's in my top 24 is probably better. No, he's in the top 24, obviously, but yeah, no, he's not my top 12. He's not in that conversation. He's too
He's
old.
not going to be in our top 12. Sorry, Joe.
No Adams. No Adams. He's too old.
So
he's a distant memory.
Yeah. I mean, Hurts. Yeah. We're up to 7. I mean, you've got to agree, but the draft capital insulates them so much more than Hurts, right?
Oh, I think it does. It gives them. I think Matt Waldman talks about too that the advantages of being a high draft pick in the NFL. But I think we're past that now. We're for this year we're past that because they didn't draft another quarterback. So I think it's Hurts' job to lose. So it probably just depends on what you think of Hurts. If you think he's a long-term answer there and they can win playoff games with him, then then he's going to be above those guys for me. But if you don't, then
so do you think that though?
Yeah.
Do you think that he's the long-term guy?
I think he can be. I think he can be with AJ Brown there. If
you've
they
got
get healthy,
you've got to believe that he is though. For him to rank him at 8, you've got to believe that he is the long-term guy. Not that he can be the long-term guy. You've got to have conviction that he is. If you're taking him at 8,
so I'm buying him off you. He's not. If I'm selling him to you, he is. He is. All right, let's lock in the official DUD player of the league, Trey Lance. Let's put him a little mascot at 8. I do love Trey Lance. I think I took him ahead of Lawrence, just after Lawrence in one league with you last year.
And I think with Trey Lance, I think he's got even more insulation than Lawrence because he didn't start last year. So even if he isn't great this year, people will say, well, it was his first full year starting and he'll improve next year. Whereas if Lawrence has a bad year again, his value is really going to go in the tank a lot more than Lance's.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a good point. I think he was okay. They didn't have a bad year though, Lawrence. He was just okay, right? Terrible.
Statistically, he was pretty terrible.
He was pretty terrible, but he's a rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah, but look at what Justin Herbert did his rookie year. I mean, we've seen good rookie years.
Yeah, you can't say that for everyone.
Burrow looked better. Burrow looked better his rookie year. Well, Murray looked better his rookie year. I mean, there's been good rookie years.
I don't disagree. I just don't think he wasn't terrible. He wasn't great. But
he had a better rookie year than Josh Allen. And look where we've got Josh Allen.
This is true. Yeah. All right, let's lock in Lance.
Lance at 8. Now I'm happy I've got to have some compromise here because I'm a man of the people, and
I'm sort of with you. I'm even thinking. I think I've talked myself around it to maybe Lawrence at 9. If you got him ahead,
I've got him ahead of Hurts. I was willing to give you Hurts, but if you,
that's you've convinced me, Benny. You've convinced me. I've convinced myself. Let's pop Lawrence in at 9.
All right, Trevor Lawrence at 9. Oh, this is still too easy.
You think it's a tier break now? Another tier break?
No. Look, I do think that from not from a value perspective, Hurts belongs in the same tier as Lance and Lawrence. You don't think so anymore because 5 minutes ago you were ready to put him at number 8.
No, look, I do. I still do. But you just look. I think they're both Lance and Lawrence are long-term starters in the league.
So I wouldn't be as worried about Hurts if the Eagles didn't have 2 picks next year.
Yeah, look, I was a little bit worried in the offseason, like I said, because they didn't draft one. They got AJ Brown for him. I think that's a vote of confidence. But yeah, you can easily see with the moves they made this year, it was pretty easy for them to move around the board. I think they can do the same thing next year with those stud quarterbacks coming out. So I'm glad for them that they didn't force it. And they've just loaded up those draft picks for next year. But I can see either of them to Lance Lawrence jumping into that top 6 next year, and Hurts, but definitely probably more Lance Lawrence. So
Look,
Hurts,
I think
Hurts
I
9,
think 10, because you said Lawrence 9. But
are you tracking them? I haven't tracked them. You got the Excel, right?
yeah, I've got Trey Lance at 8, and then I was willing to give you Hurts at 9, but you said no Lawrence.
Lawrence 9, Hurts 10. Yep, let's lock that in.
Let's lock that in.
Let's lock it in. Lock it in. Top 10 duds.
Top 10 duds. So now it gets really, pick your poison. Who's number 11 for you?
Yeah.
I mean, is it Dak?
Yeah,
is it Russell Wilson? Is it Justin Fields? Is it Aaron Rodgers?
It's probably, I guess we slept on Dak a little bit, haven't we? He probably should be higher. He's not higher for me. But he probably should be in that top 10. But I think I've probably got. Yeah, it's probably Dak or Wilson, I guess. They're just older. We're such ageists, but they're going to be long-term QB ones for the next however long
they got another several years, right?
Yeah, easy. Dak's 28. What's Wilson's 33? You can play as long as they want,
Wilson or Dak? So Dak before Wilson or Wilson before Dak?
I think the Cowboys defense is really good, and it's might even take another step this year. He's lost Cooper, so I think they might not be trailing that many games. And I'm not so sure about Denver really. How good their defense is going to be, but they got the weapons, right? So yeah, it's Wilson or Dak. I guess you do have that. He's 5 years younger, so that's got a.
That's quite a big difference, right? I mean, he could play for another 10 years. Wilson could play for another 5 years, probably. Yeah. So
I think when it's that close, we've got to go with.
You got to go with the younger guy.
Got to go with Dak. Keep coach happy. He'll keep us around.
Boy, I might get rid of us after this performance, but sure. And so does that mean Wilson's there for you at 12?
It's Wilson's or Fields, I think. I really like Fields. I just think he's got such a good floor.
I love Fields. Yeah. Like if you swap Fields with Hurts, Fields would be 7 for me probably.
Swap Fields? What you mean? If he was at the Eagles?
Yeah, at the Eagles. But if he was at the Eagles with those weapons, but with the same draft capital, he'd probably be 7 for me.
Yeah. So look, I love Fields, so I think we've got to put him in that top 12. Okay. I think there's so much upside. He's such a winner, and I think he's getting slept on. I think he's just a real value in leagues. I think even Scotty T. I think Scotty was one of the original Justin Fields fanboys. Had the pom poms out and everything, rightly so.
He sold him. You can't. Where? What league?
He sold him. One league. He sold him. I'm sure he sold him. Maybe I was dreaming.
I've been trying to buy him in Sackmania. Can't do it.
Yeah. Well, maybe he had regrets after that one sale and didn't want to sell him. But yeah, I think he's a serious undervalue.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll score enough points this season just because of his legs, and then I think next season Chicago will be able to really put some pieces around him.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a good call. Probably not this season, but next season's going to be, and after that, we'll see the best of him.
The best of him.
Yeah. So Russ is not in the.
Russ is not in the dud top 12, which makes sense because, I mean, let's be honest. We're ageist here at Dynasty Down Under.
Even
down
with quarterbacks, it matters, doesn't it? It just matters with even with quarterbacks. Not as much, but we're talking about dynasty value. Not they're going to be fine for the next 5,
Yeah.
6, 7. As long as he wants to play, he'll be fine, Russell Wilson. But in value wise, we just are. He just.
Yeah, I mean, like in a startup, I'm not going to take. I'm not going to take Russell Wilson over Justin Hurts, Jalen Hurts, or Justin Fields. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't to start up. Maybe if you win now, you might take Wilson ahead of Fields. Probably want something back, but he's probably going. He's almost certainly he's going to outscore Fields this year, right, Wilson? You think so?
You would think so, but I think that next year is going to be wheels up for Fields. People are worried about him. Chicago are going to ruin him. I think he's got the fortitude to get through this season.
He just needs to stay healthy, really. It's just less injuries around him. I can't see him.
Agree.
Taking a backward
Agree,
step.
my friend.
I think he'll be fine.
So let me just reel it off. The dud top 12, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, boo, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields. We love our productive struggle over it.
We love
titles down under Dynasty.
We do. Are you like? Is there a clear tier for the next bunch of guys? Do you feel strongly about anyone there in terms of we're talking about value, right? We're not talking about just about
to me
field performance, but
to me, Lance is the end of Fields is the end of a tier, and then Wilson, Rodgers, Stafford are together in a tier.
Tua.
Tua's in the next tier. He's not proven. Like Rodgers. Rodgers, Stafford, and Wilson. I mean, those guys are going to put up numbers. Really serious numbers.
I think you probably got to have Rodgers and Stafford, right? In a tier, and then Wilson, I reckon, just because, just not sure about. Oh, sorry, you're talking about Russell Wilson. I thought you were talking about Zach Wilson.
No, Russell Wilson.
How many scotches have you had? Benny? Yeah, but that's fair enough. Yeah. I think, yeah, Stafford, Rodgers, Wilson. You're going to put up.
I mean, they're all together for me.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, if you're comfortable, obviously in Dynasty, you shouldn't be thinking too far ahead. This and even though we've gone the young guys, it's not because we're thinking far ahead. It's more because we're thinking in terms of value, and the value those guys are going to have, and the insulation those guys are going to have, even if they don't play great.
Rodgers is never going to get higher in value, right? Yeah, Stafford's not going to get higher in value.
You're not going to get a stud position player for Rodgers or Stafford or Wilson. They're just not. The value just isn't that enticing. Like the cost of them to trade for is probably, a 23, a random 23 first and second. You could probably get any of those guys for a 23 first and second.
Yeah, I think so. Unless someone's full win now, I think.
Unless someone's full win now, yeah.
Price, right?
Yeah,
that's probably the price.
Future first, future second, and that's great But if I'm trading, trying to win, but in a startup, right, I just want the most dynasty value possible at the end of that startup. That's how I approach a startup. I just want to curve value.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Hey, we got 4 viewers. I think that's a record. 4 people watching us live at one time.
It's late in Australia. If we're on a midday, there'll be thousands.
Oh, wait, just hit 5.
Thousands.
5. Yeah, that's true. Midday, thousands.
Yeah, millions.
We need to be on in prime time.
Powers.
Hey, Johnny Chefs is here. Coach is here. That's all that counts. That's all that matters.
We get to pod another week. Good news. Good news. He's keeping us around.
We haven't
Keep us
been
around.
fired. All right. Plus, we got a 20% pay increase. So what's 20% on top of zero?
I think it's still 0, right?
Yes, it is.
With
You know,
CPI.
No,
With the CPI
it's about what we're worth, so that's fine.
It is the dud ranking. So I think if we had left Prescott out, I think it could have been a
Yeah, if we left Prescott out, we could have been in trouble.
Right? 2 beers, I'll take it. I'll take it, Coach.
All right, people.
2 beers and a focaccia sourdough sandwich. I reckon that's the.
Hey man, you gotta have a nice vino. You gotta have a nice vino with your focaccia sourdough sandwich. Anyway, look, that's the Dad Consensus Top 12 quarterback rankings. Top 12 without Bully. Thankfully, Bully wasn't here because we'd still be stuck on quarterback 3 arguing. So that's good.
Save it for the wide receivers. That'll be good episode.
Save it for the wide receivers. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
No, that's it, mate. I think enjoy your drafts, and I think we've got less than 100 days to the NFL. So before you know it, we'll be up at 3 a.m. watching the games.
Looking forward to seeing my Game Pass renewal rate, which I purchased so I don't have to get up at 3 a.m. to watch the games.
I purchased it still, but I'm just a sucker. I don't know. I should learn, but not every round, but normally the first couple, and then you wait for daylight saving to kick around. It's 5 a.m., which is just great.
It's doable.
5 a.m. is not too bad.
Yeah, I know. My missus is a really light sleeper, man. She's going to get crappy if I get up. Crap. My life is
in bed with the tablet,
good.
mate. Huh? In bed with the tablet. No, happy wife, happy life. You got to keep him happy.
All right. Anyway, we're signing off, people. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you. Peace out.